Hello everyone, we are live, we are officially live. Welcome, this is White Wolf, how are you all doing? And we are going to be doing a live about grounding to remember ourselves. What does it mean to ground? It means to come back to our unity, to come back to our faith, and to realize that we are a soul and that we're a loving soul. And we're coming back to that transcendence that made us. So when we're grounding, when we're integrating stuff, when we're healing, what we're doing is that we're grounding to have self-remembrance. We're trying to figure out who we are. We're trying to access the wisdom that is present and to access more unity within ourselves and access more divinity within ourselves, because we can't find it in someone else. We can't find it in a book. But we can only find it if we really search within ourselves so that the external reality can change within ourselves. So the key phrase to get from this video is grounding to remember who you are, grounding to drive the seeking impulse, grounding to want deeper healing, to try to shift your mood, shift your vibration, and to also just shift yourself into a state to where you can be the higher self within the physical body, and the physical body is becoming the higher self. So what you're doing when you're grounding and you have days where you like to sleep a lot, or you have days where you kind of feel sluggish, or you have days where you feel like you're triggered a lot or you're ultra sensitive. Well, that's a grounding activation. You're activating the sense that I need to shift my mood, I need to shift my vibration, but also I need to assess my emotions, I need to assess the sense perceptions, and I need to access whatever I need to use, those tools of divinity within myself, so that I can use it as a way of blessing, as a way of understanding myself more, as a way of not falling within the realm of shadow work, and then you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and then you don't progress and you don't move past it. But if we can nip it in the bud, if we can put it inside of something and we can hone our energy and our skills and place it somewhere and use it as a way of momentum and use it as a way of changing the polarity, and if we can allow ourselves to allow us to step outside of the box, because what we've been placed in is a box. But once we step outside of that box, we're stepping outside of a distorted realm. But we have to treat ourselves as if we are a realm itself, because this could be your heaven or this could be your hell. So you have to look at your life as a hidden realm that you're accessing. So because we can be tapped into the angelic realms, we can be tapped into the quantum realm, that's all well and good. But this is your realm, this is your heaven, this is your absolute reality. It's harmonious to where you're grounding deep into Middle Mother Gaia Earth, to where you're wanting to remember yourself, to be in search of yourself, to want to empower yourself to the point where you know that everything is a lesson, everything is a learning curve, everything is a peak and a valley, everything is an up and a down. But if we have the right perception, if we have the right perspective, if we have the right emulation of our own aura, then we can allow ourselves to see that grounding is a great thing, that the full moon is a great thing, that there is nothing good or bad about the spiritual journey. Some people think that they really suffer. Some people think that people are against them. Some people think that being triggered is a bad thing. And none of these things that I am saying are good or bad. They are a part of the growing ascension of consciousness. So if you want to tap into your more angelic, holy spirited flow, yourself within this earth, but also being tapped into that light, because we understand that the true ascended masters, you're training yourself to be a true ascended master. You're training yourself and equipping yourself, because we can learn from many people, we can research many books, we can find information on the internet, we can meditate for 5 hours a day. But you have to realize that it's a part of your self-development. It's about your ascension. It's about your growth. And it's about your journey. And nobody can take that away from you. So when you understand that nothing is beyond the realm of possibility, when you realize that everything is rigged in your favor, and you realize that by grounding yourself, meaning that you are resonating from a high density, but you're also allowing the higher self to become an empowered human, but you're allowing that empowered human to allow the higher self within itself, which is the soul. And you're tapping into your soul love, which turns into your soul craft, which turns into meditation. So when you wake up in the morning and you just suddenly like feel good, you're in a great mood, you're wanting to exercise, you're wanting to just set a new intention, do a ritual in the morning, burn some sage in the morning, whatever it may be. I'm just listing out simple details, but when you feel right good in the morning, that means that you have activated the God state, you have activated the I am presence, and then you're just feeling that. But sometimes it feels as if it's left you, but it never has left you. It never leaves you. It never goes away. It's always a sense of encouragement within those times of integration, within those times of shadow work, within those times of healing. It means that you're actually cleansing more out of yourself and you're healing past lifetimes, and you're also allowing your dreams to tell you something, because dreams are prophetic visions. Dreams are reflections of yourself. So if you can look at life like that, like it is a dream, that it can manifest and appear at any given moment simultaneously, that means that your dream, your heaven, can change into something very supernatural and miraculous in a nanosecond. You have the power to call in 1,000 angels if you really have the power and you believe that you have the power to do that. And you also have the accountability and the responsibility to know that with great power comes great responsibility. That's why grounding holds us accountable for the way that we go about our journey. But it's not in a sense of like condemnation and judgment. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that it allows you to see that it's just the divine. It's just God's source energy. It's just wanting to understand that I am this human, but I am more than this human, that I am the divine consciousness which makes the appearances and the manifestations and the relationships appear, and I attract that to myself by my attractiveness. And I'm not talking about the attractiveness on the outside. I'm talking about the attractiveness on the inside. Because as humans, we focus too much on our physique, we focus too much on our hair, we focus too much on our teeth. We focus so much on what is physical. But the grounding allows us to focus on what is non-physical, on what is metaphysics, on what is understanding what the soul is and how you can manifest something out of nothing. That there doesn't have to be anything present or someone present to manifest the life of your dreams. So abundance is not a thing. Abundance is not a concept. You are not a concept. Healing is not a concept. Healing is just the miraculous, supernatural, organically flowing through you so that you can finally come back into yourself and realize whenever healing happens, there is something that changes within your organism. There is an activating sense of presence. There's an activating sense of awareness. And grounding allows for so much reception and allows for so much healing, which allows expansion to grow effortlessly. And then you become the effortless perfection of the higher self. But you don't have to be a perfectionist. And I know it sounds like I'm talking in a riddle, but what my guides were telling me and my higher self as I'm channeling this message is really just understanding that by making that simple choice to live, to laugh, to dream, to wander, even to wonder. And understanding that life is not what you think it is. Life is what you make it. Life is what you want it to be. And life is you. You are the manifestation of life. Because everything is generated from that particle accelerator, that tiny little speck of consciousness, which changes into many different particles, which are seeds. And then that seed gets implanted within that seed, and it gets grounded into the root, and it turns into a soul family, a soul tree, and it turns into the radio frequency of consciousness connecting with each other. So I know that was very cryptic what I said there. But if you really look at it from that face value, and understand that you are just a little mustard seed, and we don't have to get muddled within the little minute details or the details themselves or the emotions and get wrapped up in past trauma and past life progressions, and understand that nothing about our past represents who we are in the present, and nothing within our future represents what we are in the present. So you can get a prophetic message from a light worker and they could say like, oh, I see your future. But you have to have the required actions, and also you have to pull that energy towards you, and you have to ground it within yourself to really understand that you're the initiation of all the progression and the longevity of consciousness. So a light worker, like an electrician, like this person asked me, because you are an electromagnetic kinetic source energy frequency. We are electrifying energy. We are electricity itself. So we understand that from that striking of lightning can be a ripple effect, a wave of energy. It can be different gamma waves, alpha waves, beta waves. It can tap into many different particles within yourself that you didn't realize that you had, different gateways within yourself that you didn't even have. Because every time that you understand, most of your chakras are gateways, and they expand so that you are able to receive more light codes, which are not only information, prophetic visions, and DNA, that you can renew yourself and understand yourself in a different way. So, by understanding that grounding yourself is remembering yourself, and also grounding yourself is accepting yourself. Grounding is realizing that you don't have to fight the world's battles. You don't have to fight anyone else's battles. But you have to run your race. This is your time, and your time is now. So it's your time to shine. And it's your time to see that everybody here is helping everyone heal, realize, learn, progress, and also love at the end of the day. And if you do those 5 things, if you awaken, help awaken just 1,000 people, that's a blessing in and of itself. If you are a good mom, that's a blessing in and of itself. If you are a good friend, that's a blessing in and of itself. If you are a good person who gives to charities and things of that nature, then you are a blessing to the entire world. So, but grounding allows us to understand that it's not just about our journey, but it's about the service to others. Because we work on ourselves, we hone our skills, we train ourselves, we research, we have the seeking impulse, and we allow ourselves to be a manifestation for others, but we also allow ourselves to be a manifestation for the entire universe. Like, for instance, in your dream, there could be something that you see in your dream that's trying to get you to ground and heal and integrate within yourself. Sometimes in your dream, you're being hit with reflections, and it's a mirroring effect of consciousness. So you understand that grounding is allowing yourself to be that mirror, to be a reflection, to be that sense of energy that allows everybody to see that you're a portrait of consciousness. But you're also an example. And your philosophy is understanding that by questioning myself, questioning my life, questioning how I get triggered, or questioning how I get angry, or questioning why I limit myself, and allowing yourself to see, like, okay, by asking those questions, I can find a resolution, I can dissolve the problem, but I also can find a way to ask even bigger questions. So you can finally get to the bottom of certain things that in your life where it feels empty, or it feels hard, or it feels tough or rigid, or it makes you feel as if there is something in the way of you. But understanding that it is an illusion in and of itself, and you understand that by seeing through that illusion and not identifying yourself with a distorted illusion, but realizing that you are the illusion of God's source energy, because God is an illusion, meaning that God can be anything it wants to be at any given time. God can be an appearance, a manifestation, an example, a teaching, a lesson, a reflection, a mirroring back of itself, grounding within itself, knowing that it can be that sense and that source of creation. And it gives you that level of discernment that by grounding myself within who I am, within that source of divinity, and not wavering from that, if I don't waver from it, if I don't question it, if I don't restrict the flow, if I really allow myself to ground myself within the tree of life instead of the tree of knowledge, right? Because Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge instead of the tree of life. But now when we awaken, I saw this card earlier, and it was from the healing language of light. Denise Jarvis, I believe. It's a very great card deck. But it had the earth, and then it had a tree, and then there was light coming from that, from the heavens, essentially. So here's the earth, and here's the tree. So we're a lot like the tree, and we're just connecting within the earth. And then when the earth connects within this meditative state, within this ascension, within this realization, that I'm able to assess my problems, assess my life, assess my emotions, and access ways that I can integrate it, that I can heal it, that I can get past it, but also empower it and bring it into a harmonious state to where I'm not trying to give my power away to things that limit me, but I can try to get rid of the disempowerment so I can finally empower it, so I can finally give it some charge and give it some transcendent reason and give it some depth and some body, and to allow it to be an essence of source energy instead of a disservice to source energy. We can be a service to ourselves or a disservice. So we just have to take the little dis out of there and throw it in the trash. Completely disregard that. So what I meant with that analogy with the earth, the tree, and the light coming from the heavens, coming from the sky in a sense, however you want to view it, we're like that tree. So we're getting that knowledge from consciousness. We're getting that knowledge from the heavens. We're receiving that light from the universe. But we're also grounding ourselves within this earth because this is our realm that we're resonating in. We can tap into the angelic realms, quantum realms, the hidden realms, the absolute reality, the infinite reality. So we can tap into many different realities. But what we're trying to do is that we're trying to implement within this reality. So this is our realm. You have to make this your playground. You have to make this your source of imagination. You have to make this beautiful, magical manifestation of the divine expression of God. Because once you express that, and once you speak it into existence, and once you empower that source of creation that flows through you by grounding in the earth, but also simultaneously receiving from the heart of the universe. Because if we have a high density of consciousness, but we get to the point where we're just receiving solely from that, we don't have a sense of grounding, because at the same time we have to resonate from that density, but we also have to be down to earth at the same time. Now, but it's a complete disassociation that I am grounded to the earth, but I don't have to act how the earth has been acting for the past 50 to 100 years. Do you get what I'm saying? It's meaning that I don't have to act like the person that cut me off in traffic and they got mad at me or whatever, right? You don't have to act like that person. That person's giving their power away. That person's getting angry. And I'm not saying that we don't do this, and I'm not saying that I'm more special than any of you, because that's far from the truth. I want to be honest with everybody, because I feel like a lot of light workers, when we're, giving our messages, we're, I all the time, everything that I go through is something that I'm going through, but also at the same time, I try to make it general, because then it's down to earth, and it's in a way that you can make sense of it. And it's also a way that you can intellectualize it, but also implement it within your life. So that, because if we give knowledge to the point where it's so far above people, then people aren't going to understand it. And then people are going to be like, what the hell did you say? I don't know what you're talking about. So if you make it down to earth, and you're still receiving from the heavens, you're still being the higher self, you're still tapping into a higher realm of consciousness. It's just, here's the earth, you're the tree of life, but then now that earth is, now the roots of that tree is grounded within the earth. And then that light is being poured within the tree, which is breathing more life, which is the water, right, into the earth once again, which is generating the interconnectedness of the universe, right? I hope that some of you are getting that analogy, because when light is being poured in and we're all going through this journey, we all have dreams, we all have prophetic visions, we all have opened eye visions, we give prophetic words to people. We're living a prophecy in a sense, because we are prophets when we become light workers, and we're tapping into ascension, and we're awakening more of ourselves to life, to breathing finally, to acting like a child once again, being tapped in to more of our feminine as males, and also for women, tapping in more into that masculine energy, which is like not what we typically think of the masculine and the feminine. Now, I'm not saying to act flamboyant and act like a girl, and I'm not telling women to act like a man either, because that's totally different things, right? Because some men are overly aggressive, and then some people are overly sensitive, which I'm a sensitive, which is okay because it means that you're empathic. So most people going through the spiritual journey are super sensitive, super empathic, and they try to take on everyone else's baggage, right? So when we ground ourselves, we allow ourselves to see that we can wear protection, we can burn sage, we can do all of these other things, but we have to be powerful enough to understand that nothing can come against us. Nothing can try to break free from that consciousness, and we have to be a dome of golden light. We have to be that source of energy that cannot be penetrated. So it can be a dome, it can be a castle, it can be anything that you think of it. So psychically protecting ourselves is allowing ourselves to be grounded, because if we're ungrounded, then we don't allow ourselves to be that beacon of light to other hearts and minds. So we allow ourselves to see that I don't have to have my awareness or my energy sucked from me. I can be very powerful and empowered and deflect it. Kind of like a Teflon pan. You pour that oil on it and it just kind of rolls off of you. Or it's like, maybe you're a person that allows things to just kind of roll off your shoulder, but you're not afraid to respond to people, but you just kind of allow it to roll off your shoulder, but you don't do it with bitterness and anger and things of that nature. You just kind of let it roll off of you and say, okay, that person feels that way. I respect that they feel that way, and it's okay that they feel that way. And just having clear communication with the divine, and also just having clear communication with your guides, with your higher self, with energy, and just allowing yourself to be that source of creation. So I think that message was good enough, but we're also going to do a meditation. And with this meditation, you can focus on an object, you can lay down, you can take deep breaths. Even when I'm saying you can take a deep breath, you can take a deep breath, but you can do it at your own pace if you want to. You don't have to necessarily do what I do, because I don't want anyone to feel that they just have to do the meditation how I do it. But just meditate how you feel comfortable. Meditate how it expands within yourself. And also just allowing the power to flow through you. So we're going to start with meditation. So everybody, take a deep breath, and then through the meditation you can breathe at your own leisure. So take a deep breath. Exhale. We're going to ground deep into Middle Mother Gaia Earth, and we're going to allow ourselves to tap into being more sensitive, being more vulnerable, allowing ourselves to let go, and allowing ourselves to understand that the Divine Feminine is the only way that we can truly ground ourselves within the roots of consciousness, to ground ourselves into channeling that perfection there and that expression there, and allowing ourselves to be grounded within the earth while receiving from the heavens that we are that tree of life, and the roots are going back into the earth and generating more water, more growth, more expansion, and allowing humans to activate this sense of love within themselves. And allowing it to just flow, allowing it to be just right, to be pure, to be open, to not be shut out, and to step outside of the box and to finally tap into our own realm. Allow this to be your heaven. Allow this to be your playground. Allow it to be that source of imagination to where you have healed and integrated all of the shadows and the distorted versions of yourself. And also just allowing that empowered human to be your higher self, but also allowing that higher self to be an empowered human. So when both of those are in harmony and balance, you allow yourself to see that everything is rigged in your favor. But also then that masculine energy comes in to where you have authority, to where you have confidence, to where you understand that God source energy favors the bold. And just not being afraid to be bold and letting go of that fear, and also just having greater faith within yourself. And install that within your hard drive. Just know that you're able to be a projection of abundance, of manifestation, of supernatural, miraculous signs and wonders, prophetic words, inventions, new intentions, poems, songs, prayers, whatever it may be. Just know when we are grounding, we are learning more, we're training ourselves, and we are also just allowing ourselves to give back to the earth, but also allow all the things that have been stripped away from us be given back to us and reciprocated once again. So there's this reciprocation of energy, and everything that we lost within the fire we can find in the ashes, in a sense. Just know ideas can spark many different things. That new intentions can be new inventions, can be a reinvention of yourself, because we reinvent ourselves every time that we ground back into the earth, every time that we have the seeking impulse, every time that we're tapping into another density of consciousness. We are allowing the scales to come back into balance, in a sense. So we allow the scales to come back into balance, and we don't allow it to be lopsided, but we allow it to be right here. And it's a very beautiful thing that happens. It's because now we're more aware, we're more cognizant, we're more present with our energy. And when we allow ourselves to do this, we allow ourselves to tap into the heart of the universe. But we allow ourselves to tap into the heart. And we align that heart with the brain. And then that brain and that heart connects within the body. And then when that happens, there is reception, there's healing, but there's also the soul coming down from the heavens, from consciousness, and allows you to tap into that higher self. And then it allows you to realize that the tree is a symbol of who you are. But it's trying to get you to remember that you are the world at large, that you are your own realm, your own portal, your own gateway, your own universe, in a sense. So the infinite reality means that it's an infinity signature of any type of resonance, of energy, of manifestations, appearances, light. But the absolute reality allows you to be it itself. It allows you to be the I am presence, being able to appear into the heart of the universe. It allows you to be the universe before the universe appears and manifests. The infinite reality is the reality that we're in right now, because it's trying to get us to understand we've experienced this so many different times. We've experienced like billions of past lifetimes, that we've been high priestess, that we've been many different things. So this infinite reality that we're experiencing is not neither a good or a bad thing, but it's just trying to be more absolute within its own expression of the divine, within its own resonance, within its own source of creation. The absolute reality is realizing that the infinite reality is being more empowered by realizing the absolute finally dictates what goes on, or what is created, or what is generated. Because before creation is after creation, is realizing that you are an infinite incarnation of energy. So meaning that you can have so many different parallel realities, different parallel selves within one reality. And this is what I mean by everything is infinite, but how can you make everything infinitely absolute? Because you can have infinity of distortions, of false identification, of false illusions, of false appearances, false reflections. But then you realize that you can be the absolute I am presence beyond what is fully realized. A realm that's beyond itself, a realm that is experiencing the highest density of consciousness. And it's realizing itself and recognizing itself once again, and then becoming itself once again. But the question you have to ask yourself, what is it going to be? What do I want to be? How can I live? How can I laugh? How can I love? And how can I remember myself to the point where it's a no-brainer to accept myself once again? As the meditation is coming to a close, everybody take one last deep breath. Exhale. And when I snap my fingers, you'll come back to. You'll have a greater sense of clarity. You will know who you are. And you will become the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, which is God manifested in human form. And so it is. So thank you guys for tuning into this meditation. Also in the comment section, you can book a private session with me if you would like to know your psychic abilities, readings, healings, activations, so on and so forth. Also, you can check out my YouTube channel, White Wolf, the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, Instagram, whitewolf4741, and also you find me on TikTok as well, and BitChute, White Wolf, the Oracle 23 _ @. Thank you guys for tuning into this meditation. I hope that it was very helpful for you. I hope that it blessed you. And I hope that it allowed you to tap more into who you are. And I hope that you see the messages anytime, anywhere. If you listen to it, the energy is still the same. I hope that you're blessed by the messages that you receive from me. And just know you can book a private session anytime and anywhere. Not anywhere, but you know what I mean, omnipresence. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And just know grounding ourselves is just remembering ourselves. And when we ground ourselves, we're able to accept ourselves. And then we're able to implement more about ourselves and to allow ourselves to truthfully understand what we are completely realized and how we can go from there and expand upon that divine expression. So I want to thank you guys. God bless you. And also thank you for sending those things. And I hope you have a blessed evening, morning, day, or night. And namaste. Thank you guys so much. And just know you can watch the messages anytime. Bye-bye.